the fight is over. Reality sets in. You did not win. You don't get that moment. You don't take off your gloves. You don't stick around. You don't do that whole scene that people like to do. And you've done it as well in wrestling. You took off your shoes and you left them on the mat. I remember that. Why didn't you do that in the moment?
It's not, I lost the fight. That's Stipe's moment. He's the champ. Like, why would I do that? Because a guy like me retires in the Octagon there, and that's what people talk about. I think in the standing of the world, there's a difference between Stipe and I. And if I'm in there and I take my gloves off, and it's almost like stealing his thunder. I wasn't going to do that. He won the fight. So I just went to the back. Get out of there and let that guy have his moment with his team and let him celebrate. They've done that for me. So I got out the way.
And I know that you deal with these losses, very hard, but you care so much. We've seen you pour it all out inside the cage, outside of the cage. How did you deal with it? Saturday night, Sunday, Monday, not only the loss, but you had to deal with the eye and knowing that this could be it.
I was sad. I was very sad, like I cried like always. I felt very sad and disappointed. Apologized to my coaches for not getting the job done, and apologized to my wife and kids and everybody that thought I was going to win the fight and have sacrificed so much for me to get ready for the fight. But then when I got home on Sunday evening, my wife was still pregnant and healthy. My children were still healthy. Nobody was, my coaches immediately told me, apologize for what? Like, we've seen things and done things that none of us have ever done before. Nobody's ever gone to this level. And we appreciate the ride, And then I started thinking to myself when I'm sulking and I'm sitting there, I started thinking to myself, like, those reactions a lot of times were preparation for the next time. If I was so sad and I was crying because Jones beat me, I cried and I was sad because I wanted to ensure that it hurt so much that it would never happen again. But then I started thinking, there isn't another one. There isn't another again, so I need to maybe process this one a little bit different. I can't just shut myself off and be like in the room the whole time and just not talk to my family, not talk to anyone, just like, I need to process this one differently. I need to try to see how I can start to move forward. And that's what I did. Just not allowed for it to just kind of paralyze me. I just spent time with my family and started doing things with my kids and my wife and just try to do it a little differently.
Are you done?
Am I done fighting? Yeah, I'm not going to fight anymore. I was talking to Joe Rogan after the fight and I told him my interest is fighting for championships. And I can't imagine with a loss that I would be fighting for a belt again. I've lost 2 fights in a row for the first time in my career. You got to understand, when it's time. And the reality is, part of the reason I got hit with that right hand by Stipe is because I'm older. You can't fight Father Time. And at 41 years old, I fought the heavyweight champion of the world 3 rounds to 2. That's with the idea that I wanted to win. I didn't go in there trying to give a good account of myself. I wanted to win the fight, and I still believe I can beat Stipe Miocic. But every day that passes, it doesn't work in my favor. And all these young guys, they just continue to improve, and they continue to train and get better, and they stay younger. They stay a lot younger. Even when Jones and I fought the first time, I was 35 years old. I mean, he was, I don't know, maybe 26, 25, something like that. Those guys are still young. And every day that goes by, my time just kind of gets a little bit more in the rear view. So, yeah, I'm not going to be fighting anymore. I don't want to just fight. It makes me sad to see guys like Robbie Lawler last weekend fighting guys that years ago, as talented as Neil Magny is, I don't feel like that would have been as hard a fight for Robbie back in the day. But Robbie today gets beat 30-26 by Neil Magny, fighting on the co-main event of a fight night card from those classic fights that he had with Rory. That sucks, you know. And he's only 38, so I am not saying Robbie Lawler should not be fighting, but at 41, what am I going to do next? You know, just go fight some random dude, go be fodder for somebody to build their name off of. I don't need that.
And I'm only asking this because I feel like I have to, because it's a fight game, not because I'm advocating for it, because I feel like you are making the right decision if you never fight again. But do you think that there's any scenario in a year or two where you miss it and they come to, you know how the fight game goes, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Bernard Hopkins stuck around till 50. Is there any chance you come back, or you're closing the door shut? No way.
I feel like I'm closing the door shut on this thing, man. I got a text message yesterday from Cassandra asking me if I'm getting out of the USADA testing pool. And I told her, yeah, I just haven't told him yet, you know, and I think when you do that, you know, you're pretty certain of your decision. So I've been tested by USADA since I was 21 years old. You know, I've been tested by USADA for 20 years of my life. And yeah, it's over, you know, and even though and I'm not sad about it. Like, I'm not sad. Like, I'm not sad. Like, I don't feel like, oh man, you know, I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss the training camps. I'm going to miss the fights. There's nothing like a fight week, but you have to understand when it's your time. And I feel like it's time, you know?
One thing I was thinking about afterwards was something that you said to me before the fight, which was when you were done with wrestling and you had to figure out what was next, no one really cared for Daniel Cormier, right? Your stock was at its lowest. You were disqualified from the 2008 games because of the faulty weight cut. You kind of go to AKA. No one really knows what to expect from you. No one knows if you'll be able to make weight, all this stuff, and if you'll even be able to be a fighter, right? You weren't a striker. You weren't a boxer, and so your stock was at its lowest. Have you had a chance to compare where your stock is at today as you end this journey as an athlete compared to where it was 11 years ago, and all the stuff that you have? I mean, it's pretty remarkable, right? Your stock is at its highest as you walk away.
You know, when you close a door on something, it's very difficult. You know, I've shed a lot of tears thinking about retiring from fighting. But then I went to I got back home Monday, and the whole week I had meetings with massive companies for endorsement deals, and I had meetings for television opportunities, and I got calls from different organizations telling me they just want to be in the Daniel Cormier business. Like 2009, I had none of that. Like, I was at my lowest of lows. And so there are a number of opportunities, but nothing's ever going to be, I'm never going to get that thrill of competition anymore. And I think for me, that's going to be the most difficult part, is that I love to compete. You know, it's what I do. It's what I've done my whole life. I've been at the highest level since I was a young boy, you know, so it's like, it's going to be very difficult to not have that part of my life, but I'm going to take all that energy that I have spent trying to win championships and be the best in the world in wrestling and try to apply it to what I do next. And I think that there are going to be a lot of opportunities to do those things. You know, it's hard though. It's hard. It's hard to know that a part of something that burns inside of me is going to have to be kind of like, I mean, for lack of a better word, killed. I've got to kill that part of who I am, you know, that competitive, that desire to beat everybody at everything all the time. I've got to find a way to deal with that in a better way, because I don't have that outlet anymore. So yeah, it's be tough, but I've got a lot of opportunities. I'm telling you, man, it was amazing that so many things happened the week following me losing a fight. It was crazy.
By the way, when you're in these meetings talking to these very important people, at any point do you say, like, I got my guy and we're kind of a package deal and this is, like, or is it, because I didn't know about the meetings. It's the first I hear about the meetings. So I'm just curious, like, I mean,
Well, the focus with you and I was on this, trying to get
okay.
this thing all going. You know?
Okay.
I was like, man, I can't take this guy with every part of my deal. You know,
Okay. No,
I can't take him with everyone. But
okay.
now we feel like, I feel like some really, really big things are out ahead of me, and I'm excited about it.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.